Hey guys, welcome to the YouTube channel. It's 𝗙𝗶𝗀𝗀𝗲. In today's video, oh my god, this is something that I always tell you about, and let's first watch the video and let's talk about it.
I am a Black American and I absolutely love to travel to the continent of Africa. It's my favorite continent in the whole wide world. But one of my biggest fears is that the more Black Americans come to this continent, they will not handle it with grace and with care. So, for example, I am in Ghana right now and I'm getting messages and people are sending me texts of people who had a bad experience at a festival, or like all two people who got their phone stolen. And people are like, oh my God, I'm afraid, I can't come. They don't have their stuff together, this, that. And I'm like, that is their experience. It's not my job to negate or validate somebody's personal experience. That is what happened to them. But I just wish more Black Americans handled the systems that they think need to be in place with more care, understanding the historical context for why those conditions actually exist. And also understand that negative news about the continent literally drives people's internalized fear that Africa is inherently bad, and it literally feeds stereotypes. I'm not telling people how they should feel. I'm just saying that as Black Americans, with all your Western ideology and our privilege and our internalized challenges with the continent already, let's make sure we handle it with more care and more grace.
So every time I come on here and tell you guys about the African continent and how it is not all the lies that people have fed each other, like it's starving, all people are poor, it does not have food, people are sick, they're dying, it is not all that. We have people in the comments that think I am crazy, I'm lying, you're making up stuff, because in their minds Africa could never. Let me put this in clear language that if you speak English and can comprehend it, you will understand. The same company that makes and drops off poor people on the sides of the streets in America, addicts that can't keep a job in America. We all know the medical care system is crazy in America. It's crazy expensive. If people can't afford to pay insurance or they get sick, they will be paying thousands in bills of medical care. And if they can't pay, they'll be living in debt. We know about the foster care systems in America. They are always full. Kids being bounced around from home to home. We know about the food stamps. We know about the long lines at the kitchen soup centers for people just to get a bowl of what to eat. We know about homeless shelters where homeless people can go just to sleep for a night, and during the daytime they have to leave. My list can go on and on and on. This same company is making and dropping off the same product on the African continent and anywhere else in the world. Now, are all these things that I mentioned make up America? Are all the people in America homeless? Are all the people in America starving? Are all the children in America homeless? No, this same idea applies to the African continent. We all know how the system is against vulnerable people, not even making excuses for anyone anywhere. Once you stop working with the system becomes your enemy. If you don't work that extra shift, you're still gonna have bills. A big percentage of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. If you have an unplanned emergency in America and you cannot afford to handle it, life will quickly kick you onto the streets like you have never worked a coin in your life. And when you're homeless, the longer you stay homeless, it's harder to get a job. It's harder to get an address where mail can be sent, a stable home. It's harder to build your credit score if you ever wanted to buy or build anything big for yourself in this America. But anyway, I could go on and on and on about these things. But let me bounce my question back to you. Are these people acting in America? Is it a joke? Do they just wake up and choose to be homeless?
This is for the African Americans. Whenever you decide to buy a ticket and visit another country, predominantly Africa or the Caribbean, Can you please make sure to leave that stereotypical mindset that was inflicted upon you by these white people that oppressed you at the door before you enter? And if you can't do that, simply don't go. A girl went to Africa and someone got injured. Oh my God, someone got injured. Someone's phone got stolen. Oh my God, someone's phone got stolen. Sweetheart, you are from a country where a teenager can go to Walmart and buy a gun. America has the highest number of serial killers. You are from a country where when a white teenager feels depressed, he goes and shoots up a school. You are from a country where people who look exactly like you get murdered in broad daylight with all the evidence to show that they were actually murdered and never get any justice. So please explain to me how you can boldly acknowledge crime or incidents elsewhere, but you can't notice it in your own backyard. So crazy to me how the Western world have conditioned and convinced themselves and the people in their community to believe that crime exists everywhere else apart from the Western world. No, because let me do this again. Did people not die at Ariana Grande's concert in Manchester, England? Did Kim Kardashian not get robbed at gunpoint in Paris? And yet you still only acknowledge that crime exists in Africa? Some of these people are the same ones who will come on social media and make these stereotypical jokes about Africa, about the fact that Africa doesn't have any water. Meanwhile, Michigan don't have none neither. You lot will come on this app and stay shouting about how they live in mud huts and how they live in trees, but will never take a moment to look at the statistics of homelessness in LA and New York. People like you will come on this app and stay preaching and talking about how impoverished and poor and disadvantaged and how sad it is to be African and live in Africa because of how Africa is. Meanwhile, you're getting oppressed in your own country. Believe it or not, it's the same way when some of them go to the Caribbean. And you know, funny enough, same thing happens in Jamaica. Same thing. If you ever travel to Jamaica, just make friends with one of the staff at the hotel and ask them the worst guests who visit, and they will boldly tell you African Americans. And you wonder why some Caribbeans and Africans simply just don't like some of you. Because you lot come here and stay in other people's business and stay talking shit, knocking your cent against somebody else's dollar. You lot can really stay at the land of the free that ain't free. You really can stay there. Nobody's begging you to carry your bag and come. Do you understand? Don't buy tickets. Stay home.
So guys, in these videos that you've seen is exactly what I always tell you about, because you are living in the country, especially African descendants, African Americans, or let me say Black Americans and Black Asians, or anyone that is Black in the diaspora. You're living in the countries that are good, literally very good at advertising themselves, but they are also very, very good at demonizing other places, let's say Africa. Because a lot of the times, the things that you see about our continent are usually the kids that have runny nose, kids that are poor, like, you know, the really shittiest places. That's what they show you. And a lot of the times, our people that actually travel to come to, let's say, America or Europe, the only adverts they see on TV are literally things about poverty all the time, like, oh my God, you need to save an African child. Oh no, Africa has no water. You know, Africans don't have this, no clothes. Like, we literally have nothing. But in actual sense, we feed the world, you know. And what these ladies are saying, both of them are right, and maybe one is wrong, but I don't want to judge anybody, because we also as Africans, when we come to the outside world, we are given a picture of the American dream, the European dream, where, you know, we think those places are better than ours, you know. So that's why even a lot of us come to those places. And when it comes to you, because they know, especially Black Americans, you guys, I always say it with a lot of confidence, you guys are the most richest group of people in the Black community, and you have knowledge, and you're living in the big man's house. I call him big man because yeah, you're in his house, you know. So he has to give you a bad image for you to be scared to come back home. They have to tell you you're privileged to be with the big man, and they have to scare you as well to not want to associate yourself with the motherland, which is Africa. So they have to show you poverty, they have to show you, you know, barbaric things, they have to show you the most horrible places, they have to show you the worst things about Africa. So you feel scared because you're like, oh my God, I'm here, I should appreciate America, I should appreciate Europe, I should feel happy about the place. But then in actual sense, they just don't want you to come back home, because they know if you come back home, like I always tell you guys to come home, you're going to, first of all, intermarry with Africans, that I say all the time, because if you do intermarry, then roots are being made, generational curses are being cut, and you know, this fear is being taken out. So they have to keep you in a place where you feel you cannot go back home, and also feel you're privileged to live in the big money's house, which is America or Europe. And then the other thing that the lady also said in the first clip is that, you know, people are scared to come to Africa because they had a bad experience where, you know, their phones were stolen or something happened. And I'm like, excuse you, excuse me, you come from a place where, like the second lady said, teenagers buy guns. I have never seen or hold a gun ever in my life. Like, I don't even know how to process it. I'm actually scared to come close to it. But your children or your kids actually own guns. What is more traumatizing? What is more tragic? We see a lot in the news where teenagers actually go and kill people by guns. It can never happen in Africa. It has never happened in Uganda. I've never seen it. And I say it with a lot of confidence. I've never seen a gun. And we do not own guns in Uganda if you're not in police or the army. So what are you scared of? A phone? Yes, those things are there. They can steal your phone, they can snatch your bag, they can, you know, put the prices up because they see you as American. But those crimes that you have in America, please don't compare them to Africa. Don't compare them to motherland. They are just giving you a bad image for you to be scared to come home, but still, they don't want you to leave. The other thing that she talked about, the second lady, is that a lot of crime is done in America, but it's like America acts like it's the most, you know, safest place to live in. I should be the one scared to come to America, like in actual sense, because what I see about you or about America, it is scary. Imagine having a husband where you feel they might not come back home. Imagine having a son, you know, thinking they might not make it home. Imagine living in a place where you see your fellow black people being killed with evidence that they have been killed, but nothing is going to happen. Like, that doesn't happen in my country. It doesn't happen. So America is the dreamland and the rest of the world is bullshit. The rest of the world is shit. You know, guys, don't listen. My African descendants, I am here to call you every day. Come home. Come to the motherland. Don't listen to the stereotypes that are given to you, because they are given to you to scare you from coming to the motherland. Because they know the moment you step on the motherland, you don't want to go back. Stop believing the things that they are telling you. They are just limiting you from coming and connecting with us. I'm calling you guys. Come home. We love you. I love you. And that's all I got to say. Like, just get a passport and come home. Get a passport and come home. Come get a wife, come get a husband. Let's make it happen. Yes, guys. So that was it for today, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Please support the channel. Yeah, and I'll see you in the next video.